Hey everyone, welcome back to Collecting Nolan. This is Russ, and it's another Sensational Set Sunday. And today we're going to be talking about 1990 tops. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, who cares about 1990 tops? You know, that was peak junk wax era, 10-cent Nolan Ryan cards. Who cares? Well, I like 1990 tops because that's what got me hooked on Nolan. So I wanted to spend some time, going over the 1990 Topps baseball cards, because not only, everybody knows the classic 1990 number 1 Nolan Ryan, and also the 5,000 strikeouts cards that came with that, and they were the first 5 cards in the Topps and OPC sets. So we'll cover both OPC and Topps today. But there's also a lot of other cards that even I don't have. So I just wanted to cover it because I think it's a cool set. So let's go ahead and get started. And we'll start off with OPC. So no surprises. Here's the OPC with Nolan there. And, OPC's kind of different this year because it used to say like OPC at the top or OPC or something like that. This year it didn't say that. The only way to really tell is by looking at the bottom here, or actually at the top, sorry. So it just has French at the top here and still at the tops. And even if you look at the tops and the OPC ones, they look kind of the same. In previous years, OPC had brighter colors, more vibrant colors. Not this year. This one, they look completely the same. So, this is the number 1 card. Let me show that back to you just so you can get a good look at it. And then, of course, the number 2 card in the set was commemorating Nolan Ryan's 5,000 strikeouts. So it has a card of him with each of his 4 teams. First one being the Mets. It gives like a nice little brief history of his time with the Mets. Here's number 2 with his Angels. Back here. Actually, it's number 3 card. I'm sorry. It's the second 5,000 strikeouts one. And then number 4 with the Astros. Like these cards when I was a kid, these were top of the top of technology here. With the 5,000 in the background. How'd they do that? I don't remember cards before this that looked quite like that. So. During my childhood, anyway. Here's number 5. The Rangers, finally. So that's OPC, and really Topps doesn't look too different. So I'll just, as I drop my cards, I will go through them quickly. Sorry about that. All right, so here's the base card, of course. I got this in a 9, and you can get these even in 10s that are pretty cheap, But I don't, when a card looks this sharp, you can't even tell the difference between a 10 and a 9 in most cases. So I like it. There's the back. It's got all of his stats. That's what's cool. And then, of course, again, the Mets. And then the Angels. So the OPC, both the OPC and Topps, was a 792 card set. Here's the number 4 card. And that's it for the 1990 Topps. No, I'm kidding, guys. That's not it. It gets a little bit more interesting than that, of course. There's quite a few other cards, so we're going to hit those next. I just got to get to my cheat sheet here. So there was also what's called the 1990 All-Star Set Collector's Edition, which this was a 60 card set. Nolan's number 2 of 60. And basically you can only get the set if you mailed in the redemption for like Topps' usual propaganda piece that they stick in there. So if you mailed that in, you would get, Topps they usually had like a propaganda card to get you in their packs to, get you to buy stuff or mail stuff in, and you'll get this. Like they offered a binder and a hat 1 year. I guess this was one of those redemptions. And every time you did that, you would get 10 cards for the redemption. So there's that one. And then, of course, there's the Topps Tiffany, which was only made in factory sets. And again, it was 792 cards. There's nice Nolan there. But this was printed on different card stock. So this was printed on a quote-unquote white card stock, and you can see how bright that is versus the regular. See how bright that is? That's one way you can tell. And many years of Tiffany's are like this, where it will be brighter on the back, but not all of them. Like the 89 Topps Trade's not like that. And so that was Nolan's base card in the Tiffany, but they also did each one of these, and these are thicker card stock too. And they just are much brighter on the back and maybe even a little bit on the front. I don't know if you can tell, but you can even tell when it's in this top loader that it's a thicker card. And I'm probably crushing it, causing it not to be able to be graded down the road. But here's when he's with the Angels. He's with the Astros. Finally, his Rangers one for the Topps Tiffany. So in addition to this, so Topps cards came in wax boxes, right? They would open it up at the stores and you had the packs. So oftentimes on the bottom of those boxes were additional 4 card panels. And this is true for the Topps and the Peachy cards, where one of those panels had Nolan Ryan on it, and the other, I don't have the panel, or else I'd show you the panel, but the panel had Jim Rice, Cal Ripken Jr., and Ryan Sandberg on it with them. But I do have the hand cut one, which I think this is a cool card, like, because it's it's just different, and it keeps that 90 Topps design to it, and has him in his high leg kick kind of coming down off the mound. I really love that card. And these are hard to come, the wax panels intact are hard to come by, especially in the O-Pee-Chee. I haven't been able to find one of those. I haven't really looked too hard for the Topps, but these are hard to get in like good shape because they're on surface. They would rub up against everything, so the surfaces are probably bad on most of them, but cool card nonetheless. After that, there was Topps Big, which was just a larger card. And Topps Big was a 330 card set distributed in 3 series of 110 cards apiece, and Nolan was in the second series, number 171 here. And these are cool because they have like the old school comics on the back, cartoons, and like a little tidbit factoid. Nolan recorded his 5,000th strikeout August 22nd, 1989 against, do you know who? Rickey Henderson, right? Yeah, so Rickey Henderson was Nolan Ryan's 5,000th strikeout, I believe. If I'm not right, correct me. So there's two different variants of this card, and I only have the one variant. So if you, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look down here, this will say D on it. So there's a C and D variant. I don't have the C variant, I only have the D variant apparently. But yeah, so the big cards are kind of cool, although harder to store if you're a little kid because they didn't really fit in anything, like the penny sleeves and stuff. They're difficult. So that was the bigs. There's another coins, which I thought I had the coins, and I swear I have this coin, but I'm just not able to find it. And it's not in my spreadsheet of cards that I do have, so I guess I don't have it. But I look at pictures of this, and I know I have it, but I don't have it. But Topps made coins, 60 coins in 1990. I believe Nolan was number 25. Not 100% sure. And then also another super rare card is it's called, I don't know if it's super rare, but I haven't been able to find one. It's the Topps double headers card. So basically it'll look like this on the front, but on the back, instead of the stats, it'll have Nolan's rookie card. And that was a 72 card set, which came in like 3 releases of 24 cards. So basically they would just use the 90 Topps design on the front of the card, and then it would have the rookie card of that person on the back. So I'm looking for that one. I don't have it. I wish I did, but if you could use your imagination. It looked like this on the back. This on the front, this on the back. That's a cool card. I really wish I could find one, but no dice so far. So we'll just keep looking. That's why it's a marathon and not a race. So we'll just keep looking. So that's the Topps big. Not bigs, the double headers. And then in addition to those cards, there's also a Topps Gallery of Champions metal card, which are smaller, and they look like, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was 1988 Topps had some aluminum, bronze, and silver smaller cards that looked like the card. Same deal with 1990 Topps. They had this image on aluminum, bronze, and 90% pure silver castings, and they were probably like a little bit bigger, like kind of like a T206 almost, I would say. But those were 12 card sets, and I haven't really been pursuing those, so I don't know how rare they are or scarce they are, I guess. But maybe I'll start looking for them. And I know, of course, the silver is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's a precious metal. So aluminum, not so much. But all right. So in addition to that, continue on with my spreadsheet here. There was, and I don't know, you guys might yell at me for this, but I'm going to include the Topps magazine card. And Topps magazine card was 32 card set, and it came in a panel. I don't have the panel, but the panel included Bo Jackson, Will Clark, and Robin Yount. So that's an interesting panel there because Will Clark during his first at bat, in the major leagues, Will Clark hit a home run off of Nolan Ryan. So that's a pretty cool feat to be able to do. And then Bo Jackson, I believe, hit the longest home run off of Nolan Ryan. So he got the best of them there. And he also made that bloody lip card. He hit a ground ball to Nolan. It popped up, hit him in the bottom of the lip. Nolan threw him out, I think. Pretty sure he threw him out. He finished the inning. He wouldn't come out, and then he went down into the dugout after the inning was over, got a couple stitches, came back out, and pitched some more. So Nolan was a beast. But this is number TM10, and the panel is a four card panel, like I said. And of course, there's only 8 panels since there was only 32 cards. But I'll be looking for that panel. I haven't been looking too hard for that one either. There's just so many cards to look for, and so little money to to put forth. So that's the Topps magazine, which I'm probably going to do a magazine card show because there's so many out there spanning across many decades. So I think I'm going to do that. And also to people might be giving me a hard time because I'm not including the Woolworth card in this showing, because I feel like I'm going to give another show to those like individual store releases. There's a Woolworth, there's a KB Toys, there's others. So I'm going to have, those are going to have its own separate show, but there was a Topps Woolworth card. I do have it. That is in the 1990 Topps run, I guess. But moving on, there's also the Topps Major League Minis Leaders cards, which I like because it keeps the 1990 design intact there. A lot of times, some of the mini cards are they have like a blank border, like a white border. So that's why I like this one. And then, of course, the 1975 mini keeps the 75 design to it too. So that's kind of what reminds me of this one as well. On the back, it's got a nice picture of Nolan there and some stats and just little factoids of information. So cool card. But Topps, this was a 88 card set, and I'm not sure. I think it was just available in a set. I'm not 100% sure though. So then that comes to, we get to the Topps stickers of 1990, and there's quite a few of those as well. I don't have all. I have most of them. I'm missing one. So the first one is a really cool one because it's got Nolan Ryan on there, and it's got Ken Griffey Jr. next to him, and then on the back is Bo Jackson. So you can't get any better than that card. I mean, that is a great sticker / card, whatever you want to call it. That is just a fantastic card to me. Nice young Ken Griffey Jr. there, Nolan throwing, and Bo, he probably blasted a home run there. So I love that sticker. That's a great card. So the second one that I don't have, it has the same front as this one. So the Nolan and the Ken Griffey Jr., but on the back it has Greg Olson, which I don't have that one. I thought I got it, but then when I went on eBay and purchased it, I should have read the description better because it just said Greg Olson and it didn't mention. So when I got it, it just literally had Greg Olson. So I was kind of like, oh, well, that stinks, but it's okay. And then for these next few have basically the same back to it. Actually, it's just the next two. So here's the front of it. So this one's Frank Viola and Scott Bradley, which I had to look up. I don't remember too much about Scott Bradley, but Frank Viola is a pretty solid pitcher. And then Nolan's on the back. So a lot of stickers are like this, where you have this picture on the back. So next one has Ken Howell and Bud Black on the front. And of course, Nolan on the back there. And then these next few also have the same back, but it's only one player on the front. So the first one is Eric Davis on the front, with the back being Nolan, so it counts. And then the next one, and I don't know why they did this one, but this one's got foil to it, is a Rick Ruschel, which he wasn't a bad pitcher. He had a pretty good career. And there's Nolan on the back. So there's that. And finally, we get to Nolan's card or sticker on the front with Ricky Henderson on the back. You know, so Ricky and Nolan are like tied together in history. You know, so 5,000 strikeout for Ricky, and you know when Ricky broke Lou Brock's record, I think Nolan Ryan also threw his. I want to say it was the 7th no-hitter. Is that right? It was the 6th or the 7th. I'm not sure. All these cards start running together. So, but you know, it's kind of strange. You know, it's just kind of funny. Like they end up on the same cards. You know, they're both superstars. I mean, Ricky, the Man of Steel. You know, and Nolan was the Ryan Express or Big Tex or whatever. You know, so it's just kind of cool. And then this next card also ties two together. So you got Bo Jackson with Nolan on the back. And, you know, Bo, like I said before, I think he hit the longest home run off Nolan. But also he was pretty instrumental in the Robin Ventura fight with Nolan Ryan, because he's the one that got Nolan out of the pile. When the teams cleared the benches, Bo's the one that like picked Nolan up off the pile, and Nolan was having a hard time breathing because he was like underneath everybody, and Bo was just doing Bo Jackson things and yanked him up out of the pile. So, and I think I think they used to go hunting. I don't know how much Nolan hunts now, but I think they used to go hunting together and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just. I think it's kind of cool. You get cards together with these guys. They got these great stories and baseball lore and history, and none are on the same card. And then finally, so now we're at the end. So this next one, this is the final one. This is called the Topps TV All-Stars, which is probably the rarest card in the set there of the 90s run, of the 1990 Topps run, I should say, because this was only a 66 card set. And this was actually only available if you called a toll-free number on the TV. I guess like Home Shopping Network or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember that. I did not have this card as a kid. And I think I paid like a couple bucks. Like I think maybe like it was over $10. It wasn't that expensive, but it wasn't like your typical 1990 Topps card where you're like, oh, okay, $1 for Nolan. You know, this one was a little bit more hefty of a price, but not too bad. But here's the back. Career bests: 42 games in 1974. Innings pitched 333 in 1974. So I like that list. That's a pretty cool list. I don't think I've ever read the back of this card before. The president, Mr. Mangini, would be very mad at me for not reading the back of my cards, which I agree. I mean, some of these have great info on the back, and I've read many of them, but this one I don't ever recall reading. So pretty cool. So guys, that ends the run for the 1990 OPC and Topps cards. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of those cards. I mean, do you guys have all of those cards? They're probably not hard to get a hold of, except that Topps double headers card. If anyone has that, I would love to see that. You know, I've been looking on eBay, haven't been able to find it. So, But just let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching. I appreciate all your comments, all your likes. Just appreciate everybody watching these episodes. So thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.